I wanted to go live because for the first time in about 3 months, we now have tangible evidence to suggest that the crypto markets are finally going to begin to break out. We saw Bitcoin break out, altcoin dominance has seemingly started diverging from the median, which over the past 3 months is just underperformance. And so I wanted today to talk about that. Right now, we have a trade open in which I've been very public about. This is a pretty small futures trade. We're up 62% on it. And by having a trade that, in essence, was due to the fact that Michael Saylor's average Bitcoin price is about 72, 77,000, we were able to get upside on the crypto markets. And why I wanted to mention this is because a lot of people, they miss out on when the markets are actually awake because they decide to clock out. They decide to just leave and not be a part of this. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back. Welcome back. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. I'm hoping we get more people back because I wouldn't want them to miss out on what's going to happen this year. It's going to be a great year for crypto. I highly doubt the price of Bitcoin is going to be lower than it is right now at the end of the year. So very exciting times. There are tons of prediction markets out there on whether or not Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 in the next couple days. I would actually edge on that more than likely happening. It's the first time we've actually had a proper breakout on this coin in a long time. It feels like at least since November. So a good time nonetheless. I don't know how to feel about altcoins though. I don't know how to feel about altcoins. We had a bit of a pump on a couple of these coins, but nothing really to suggest like it's time to go all in. I've been looking at some of these coins. For example, I saw River. This thing's been going absolutely crazy, but I mean, what is this chart? What is this? What is this chart? Let me remove this right here so you guys can see this. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. All right, now we got it shared. What is this? What is this chart? It's just like, this is impossible to trade. I can't trade this, and I'm not going to bother trading this. So, yeah, I've been sticking to the guns, to the Bitcoin and ETH, because anything else is just really risky right now. Nonetheless, we've already got our long-term positions here, and they've already started to bottom out. A couple of them have gotten to some key levels. I built a website. I don't know if people know this, but I took it upon myself to build a website. It's 100% free. You can check it out yourself. It's classycrypto.com. There's literally nothing here to sell you on. Quite literally nothing. I built this because considering that I'm going to be making these little tier list videos on my channel, I figured why not let other people do that? Let's let everyone do tier lists. Everybody should have their own opinions. And so I built a tier list website. I built it on Claude Code, which was on Cursor. You can have your own terminals on Claude Code. I want to let people know that AI is absolutely incredible. It has just supercharged the way that I research my crypto news. It has supercharged the way that I do my content. I don't think people know this. I spend probably, 25% of the time that I used to spend a couple months ago on my channel, the channel that you're currently looking at. And I've been seeing way greater results. And all of this is just because of AI. AI is just supercharged productivity all around. I'm actually able to focus on trading and other things. Like, the channel's nice and all, but really, like, we make our money trading, so we have to focus our time on trading. So I built this website. So cool. It took me, I would say, about 6 hours to get it fully working. You click the button, it gets it. It looks awesome. Won't your AI be biased? Of course. So AI hallucinates often. It hallucinates quite often. It also fails to retain context. So what I mean by that is if you talk to Claude and you carry out this entire conversation about whatever you want to talk about, and then you close it, or you do /context, depends on whatever you want to do, and then you reopen it, it doesn't remember what you talked about before. So it has a completely clean slate. What you're probably asking is politics. Is it like left leaning or right leaning or whatever it is leaning? Obviously, you have to check your sources. This isn't like it's going to completely replace your news flow. You're still going to have to do it yourself. You're still going to have to cross-reference things, but it just makes it a million times easier. If I get a bunch of links off something, I want to show you something actually while we're at it. I will show you something. I don't want to share this screen in case I leak anything. But I have a video on Algorand that I'm planning to do. And so I will show you exactly what I prompt to find stuff on the crypto coins that I'm researching. I think you'll find this useful. So I put, this is very simple. This is on Gemini Deep Research. So I put, why are people bullish on Algorand? Because Algorand recently announced a new council. What are influencers, major funds saying? Give me the major recent developments on Algorand and format it in order so I can use it for a YouTube video. And so it gives me what people are excited about when it comes to, for example, Algorand here. It will, of course, hallucinate sometimes on the brevity of the situation because a lot of crypto news outlets are also AI and very clickbaity, which even on this channel, to compete, we have to do some level of clickbait. Kind of is the game. It is what it is. But I would rather people see this content than a lot of the other YouTubers out there. But yeah, you just format it and you just go through all this and you learn a bunch of stuff. I've done it for my tier list. I've done it for a bunch of stuff. If you tell it to include the references, you'll be able to actually go ahead and click, see the references so you yourself can actually cross-reference this. I obviously wouldn't just like read this. I would check the reference, make sure it's actually there. Sometimes it doesn't get it. Sometimes it does get it right. A good example of this was Hbar was included as one of JP Morgan's asset management examples for public digital ledger technology. This was like back in 2024 or something like that. So I saw it on my X page. I saw it on my X page. And my X page usually has a bunch of these like really trashy Hbar accounts that have absolutely no alpha, like these right here. So I took it upon myself to try to find the actual source for this. And so I went, hey, has JP Morgan ever talked about, you know, Hbar being part of their permission DLT? And then it told me, no, you know, probably not. This doesn't make any sense. And then I'm like, okay, well, it hallucinated because it doesn't have proper context on this. So I dug deeper. Where would something like this be? What part of a broader document would this be? And then I found the broader document. I was able to plug it into Gemini and it gave me the actual source, which I later cross-checked and verified this is actually very real. This is part of Project Onyx. This was when JP Morgan was exploring blockchains. Of course, we know nowadays that JP Morgan has decided to go with Canton and also Solana for the two starting networks of their little JP Morgan pilot program. But yeah, I've been using it and I find AI to be absolutely incredible as a resource. And I find it to make me much more productive. And I find it to also, if you've ever been someone that's big into TA, you would also be a fan of AI because AI will allow you to see what a majority of people are searching. Because if you prompt the same way that most people prompt, then you can kind of deduce, okay, this is what most people are searching for. If I go, oh, what's happening with Hbar today? Of course, it's going to give me what most people are searching here to find the news for Hbar. It might not be the best news, but it is going to give you the consensus on what is actually happening at any given time. I still find a lot of hallucinations, but I find it very useful and I find it very additive. A good example of me using AI recently as well is, you know, on top of building this website, which I think is so cool. I've never been able to code for the most part. Now, I learned C++ when I was going to school because I was going to do computer science before I, you know, changed my major in economics. I would never have been able to do all this. It just never would have been able to do all this. Like I click buttons, it adds it over here. It looks amazing. It runs amazing. It's so clean. I was able to build the landing page for my Telegram this took me like 5 hours to make sure everything was good. I mean, I one-shot a prompt, but it didn't look very good, so I had to fix it. Yeah, it was like, what, 5 hours to build everything? It's insane. Absolutely insane. So anyway, getting back to the topic, I want to go over some coins. Of course, Hbar is pumping right now. You know, we have a pump on XRP. We have a pump on crypto. Just in general, it's looking good right now. Bitcoin's at $97,000. I am not excited right now for altcoins to be the primary pumpers. I'm not saying that this is altcoin season. I am based in reality. I am based in reality. However, in reality, it's also good to be a moon boy. If you're not long bias, you aren't going to make money in the stock market. You're not going to make money in equity markets because as time progresses, things just go up. They just go up. Unless the tokenomics are hyperinflationary and teams are artificially dumping on you, price will go up and to the right. It just depends on how much up and to the right and how long it will take for up and to the right to happen. That's what I've learned. If you go to school for economics, you're going to kind of be like, the world is an interesting place. It's a place with lots of complexities, and the world doesn't make sense a lot of the time. So we need to be long biased. We can't be short biased. And so what I want to do today is look at coins that maybe are in the top 20, for example, and rank them on a tier list. I think that'd be fun. We do them from S tier to F tier. If I rank something F tier, doesn't mean necessarily it's actually a rug. It just means that I'm not very confident on it, and I don't think I'm very bullish on it for the year of 2026. Of course, this is all a contingent on the current price of crypto continuing to go up. If nothing happens, then just because something's S tier doesn't mean anything. And also, I am not ranking things based on the technology because, quite frankly, as a trader, I do not care. Unfortunately, I am a little bit too sober to start ranking things based on technology. When you're new to crypto, the only thing you care about is the tech, but over time you kind of learn that while the tech is important, the more important thing is the narrative, the reason behind things. So let's go over coins. Bitcoin is the first one I want to talk about. So I have a Miro page. I want to break down every single coin. We're going to be here for a while, so strap in. It's going to be fun. So Bitcoin, what are some things that are going to be exciting this year? So we have, of course, the Clarity Act, which isn't necessarily exciting for Bitcoin, but will introduce more stable coins. We have the long hold bias. Bitcoin holders love holding, but they love dumping on 4-year super cycles because a self-fulfilling prophecy will happen if you make it out to be. If everybody dumps on the 4-year super cycle, then, the price of the crypto is going to go down over time. However, I would say this is a positive. So I would put positive and negative for Bitcoin this year. Because of the 4-year super cycle, all of these short-term retail holders that want to trade the macro have left, and they are no longer in consideration. I think that's a wonderful thing. The gold pump has been amazing because it spins the narrative for Bitcoin this year. Another thing is midterms are going to be very interesting. Midterms are an opportunity for Republicans to try to win back the crypto voter base. Also going to be interesting because the Democrats are going to be inherently anti-crypto. We're seeing it with the Clarity Act. Coinbase recently actually retracted their support for the Clarity Act because of the fact that there are some things that need to be worked out. A lot of it is just people using the Clarity Act as an opportunity to push something else. So somebody will talk about doing an amendment for the Clarity Act for the good of the Clarity Act, but actually they're just trying to do something completely irrelevant, which that's one of the things I hate about politics. They never get to the point. There's so much red tape all over this. Anyway, negatives. I will put the midterms also there because the midterms could be a good or bad thing. Rate cuts are either a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on the new guy that ends up coming here. So I will add that over here. The rate cuts are, of course, a factor. Another factor that could be bad for Bitcoin is I don't think quantum is bad. I don't think the Bitcoin Lightning Network would be bad. I don't know. I don't think there are that many bad things for crypto. It's just, it's a very attractive price point right now. I'm trying to be critical right now. What would be bad for Bitcoin? What would be poor for Bitcoin? So miners, their average price depends on the electricity over. Yeah. I'm kind of here for Bitcoin. Inflation. No, inflation's a great thing for Bitcoin. More inflation, higher Bitcoin price. Have you seen the price of what is it? Iran? I don't even know what their currency is called. The currency is worthless right now. So it's a great thing for Bitcoin holders. It can only be a good thing. And actually, while we're on the topic, so we've been seeing data to support that it's this platform called BitChat that people in Iran are using in order to do transactions with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin Lightning Network. That's been interesting to observe. That's a good thing. So I guess we'll add inflation there. I don't know. A lot of things are going well for Bitcoin right now. Because it didn't end in a very high price point, just psychologically, it's a good time to be in Bitcoin. So I'm definitely putting it on S tier. Ethereum. So Ethereum had the Tom Lee effect. And The Tom Lee effect is when you throw billions of, I would even put this as a Sailor effect. I mean, like, they had so much money thrown on ETH. It's crazy. So they are the catch-up trade. So they want to be the catch-up trade to Bitcoin. However, we've already kind of run its course. People have made crazy price predictions. Tom Lee is obviously going to keep buying Ethereum. He needs the price of Ethereum to keep pumping. I am surprisingly not that bullish on Ethereum. It doesn't have the US narrative, which I believe altcoins will benefit from the US narrative. Ethereum's never really been a huge focus for the US. Seemingly, they've been trying to replace Ethereum with a bunch of other chains. It hasn't been successful so far, but it does have that. It also has the network effect. So we do have the network effect. It becomes deflationary sometimes based on network usage, but I would say these days it is inflationary. It's gonna be biased on inflationary because the gas fees have become so low. There was a time where people were bearish on Ethereum because layer 2s were taking away the attention from Ethereum. But I would say these days it's actually a positive, because why would you be stuck on Gala? It's 2026. Dude, it's been years. It's been years, dude. We haven't talked about Gala since Spider Tanks. It's been a while, man. You know, we had her moment, but yeah, no, the boat has sailed. The boat has sailed. Unfortunate. Yeah, Gala could have been one of the best gaming chains in the world, on the planet, had they just not sued everybody that they paid. I was so utterly frustrated by the way the gaming niche played out. It made no sense. It shouldn't have played out the way it played out, but there were just too many extractors, too much corruption, too much garbage. It's like so frustrating. It was so frustrating. We had such a good thing going. Such a good thing going. You can't sell and lose. Yeah. Well, you kind of could for your taxes, right? You can write it against your gains. So just because you lose money on something doesn't mean that necessarily it's a terrible thing. You can write it against your losses. You know, it's never always a terrible thing. I've lost money on a lot of stuff, so you know, kind of got to take the L sometimes and move on. I don't know anybody that's talking about Gala. Anyway, so Ethereum sucks because we used to be so focused on Gala. It's the saddest thing. I played Spider Tanks this month. I played Spider Tanks this month. They rebranded and they launched on Immutable. I don't know what they're doing there. It doesn't really feel like they're doing a bunch of marketing, but you know, it kind of is what it is. That's most of these games. They get their free marketing, they make their money, and they move on. Hbar firing up the engines. That's what I'm saying, Alex. Let's go. I love to hear the positivity. Let's pump that comment on here. Let's go. But right now we're just doing a tier list. We're just kind of going over cryptos, going over our thesis. Live streams are a great opportunity to do this because I can kind of just yap for an hour and we can go over what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But yeah, so Ethereum, I don't know how to feel about Ethereum. I would not put it. So late 2025, I figured that Ethereum would be the carry trade for crypto, that people would rotate capital from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and that if altcoins ran, Ethereum would be a clear front runner. I don't know, though. I don't know in 2026 because we're starting to see. You're here for the yaps. I love that. I love the yaps. You know what? Why don't we add? Look at this. Look at this. I coded this website. I'm gonna type Gala here. We'll add Gala to the list and we'll add Lunk, just because someone just commented on it. I'm gonna add it here. Boom. Ain't that something? But yeah. So Ethereum, I don't know how to feel about it because it's kind of run its course. It was the hype thing, but now we're all of a sudden we're getting these amendments to the Clarity Act that are saying, oh, but you know, XRP, you know, Hbar, Chainlink, they're all going to be in the same basket as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And at that point, what's the point? I mean, like, really, what's the point of buying Ethereum against some of these other assets? Is it because is Ethereum supposed to be the Shiba Inu to Dogecoin, or what is it? So I am not really that optimistic on Ethereum. I would not put it in the same tier list as Bitcoin. I think it's solid and I think it will perform well this year. I'm just kind of not convinced that it's going to be the big thing. Sold most coins during the last dump and still waiting on it to go lower. I've had a couple people in my groups and also a couple family members do the exact same thing. The thing is, when altcoins run, this is the most annoying thing about crypto. It's always frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. The crypto market is most profitable for 10 days in a super cycle. That's 4 years. So every 4 years, on average, 10 days. That's the amount of big gain days that we have in crypto. It's impossible to find when this is going to happen and when this isn't going to happen. It's impossible to deduce the best days for crypto. So you're better off long term. As a boomer of a take as I'm making, and I guess I'm getting older, so I'm becoming more of a boomer. Listen, the more money I make, the more I've realized that the way to make money in crypto is to do the exact opposite of what most people do, which is selling things constantly, buying back in, making some short-term profit, because that is essentially gambling. That's really what it is. All you're really doing is gambling. If you have a long-term thesis on something, then okay, sure. Eventually, you'll make money on it. You hodl, you make your long-term capital gains tax, and you're good. You're good to go. But if you do short-term, you're just pretty much gambling. If you have a good risk reward, then go for it. But a lot of the time, the guys that make the most money are the ones that can put size in. And you're not going to put size on a short-term position, because if you put size on a short-term position, you lose everything. It kind of is what it is. Ondo's okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. All right, let's talk about XRP. So XRP is the next coin on this list. Look at how nice these logos are. I'm such a big fan. I'm such a big fan of AI. I'm just going to start coding everything. All right, so we got XRP here. So XRP has a lot of money. Don't hold Polkadot. Please sell your Polkadot. Or no, not financial advice. I can't give financial advice. But if I had to give advice to myself, sell your Polkadot. I don't know why people hold Polkadot. It's a VC mel coin, and we'll get to it. But anyway, it has a lot of money. XRP has a lot of money. Ripple wants to pump their valuation. Ripple's valuation. We have RLUSD, which is going to go up this year because of the Clarity Act and the Genius Act. The effects of these coins are still going into fruition. We have the XRP Ledger, which is seemingly having a lot of advancements. We have, Amazon is here killing it. We have the domino theory, which, that's for your Jake Cleaver fans. some Jake Cleaver fans are big believers of the domino theory. For cons, we have let's see. So we also have the winner's effect, which is the effect in which when a winner of a narrative is winning, it continues to win until it is proven otherwise. So unless something radical happens with the US narrative, as long as the US is a big player in crypto, then XRP is going to be the main beneficiary of all of the liquidity that's going to be coming in. So they have a clear headline here for hundreds of billions of dollars, if not, trillions of dollars worth of valuation, because of the way that they've dominated this narrative. But in terms of cons, US mindshare falls. If the US mindshare falls, then XRP is not going to have a good time. They're really not going to have a good time. If the US mindshare falls, then the entire point behind XRP is just kind of hurts. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. Maybe we might have to wait another 7 years. We have midterms, which midterms I suspect are not going to play in the way of XRP's policy advancements that they're trying to do, the lobbying that they're trying to do. I don't think it's going to be good for them. Another thing that's bad, could potentially be bad, is I don't think it's overvalued. That's the thing. It's been so undervalued for so long. It just doesn't make any sense. Inflows stop. Maybe they've been really strong though. I don't think that inflows are going to be a negative. It's also a good year for XRP. I'm gonna put XRP at A tier. I'm definitely putting XRP at A tier. It's kind of hard to be daddy Bitcoin. I think we all can agree with that. The next one is Solana. So Solana. So Solana right now is at an inflection point, is the way that I would put it. They are trying to rebrand. And why they're trying to rebrand is because they made all their money off meme coins. That's the truth of the matter. So they made all their money off meme coins, which I now think is a major negative. I think that's a bad thing because meme coins are nice and all, but the way crypto is moving, I do believe in revenue-based products. Good thing though is Solana doesn't make revenue. They have revenue producing products. And so I'm actually pretty bullish on that. And they are pumping as well. Solana also, I believe, is better than Ethereum. It is a better trade than Ethereum from the ETF perspective. However, it has no demand from institutions. Institutions do not care about Solana. And their main problem is that they need institutions. They need institutions for the next leg of Solana. Now, I guess the big question is whether or not eventually Solana can use the amount of capital that they've raised from meme coins to pivot into RWA. That is the play for Solana. We all know that meme coins are just a front to make money so that they can try to do something else with it. And also, we have a question. Do they care about pumping their coin anymore? Have they made enough money on Solana? We know about Solana and the amount of supply that Sam Bankman-Fried at one point had. And so the original vision for Solana is clearly different. And they're trying to change the narrative for a $1 trillion coin that's based off of RWA. It is at an inflection point, and thus I do not know what to think about Solana. And Solana is losing the narrative that made it exciting in the first place. So I'm going to be putting it as solid. I don't think it's a bad coin at all. But I don't know. I feel like I'd rather hold Ethereum right now. BNB. So BNB is right now trying to be the leader of the global liquidity market. That's really what they're trying to do. So BNB is an interesting coin because it technically shouldn't be worth anything, but it is. So the main thing about BNB is CZ, Binance, memes, and money. That's it. Just memes, money, Binance, and CZ. Cons, crime. Crime is the first one. And what would the second one be? So the second one be if you aren't Chinese. They do not buy coins that don't have Chinese letters or Chinese founders in them. So if you aren't Chinese, you're not going to have a fun time over there. I'm not bearish on BNB because they're going to pump this coin. We all know that when CZ does a tweet, he's going to dump tons of money into whatever it is that he's tweeting about, and it's going to make him money and his group money, and we're going to lose money. So you can't be bearish on BNB. We know it's going to go up in price. But we know from a percentage standpoint, it's not like this is magically going to go to like $10,000 tomorrow. It's really not going to do that. So I'm going to be putting it on mid-tier for sure. There are opportunities to make money off these chains, but a lot of it's kind of like Solana and Pump Fund. You're going to get farmed. At this point, people on Pump Fund are so farmed that they have decided to become the deployers of coins themselves. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. My number one for sure will be Ripple on the XRP Ledger. Just a no-brainer. In my opinion, the creators of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin are the creators of the XRP Ledger. Pass on BNB. Yeah, but you can't put the coin down because from a technical standpoint, I would put this on a rug. But from a chart, pumponomics chart, I definitely put this on mid-tier. It's going to pump. It's just going to pump. It is going to do what it does, but it's not going to make any sense because we unfortunately aren't part of the cabal. The cabal is the only one that understands it. Bitcoin Cash. This one confused me. I didn't understand this one. I looked into it. I promise you, I did look into this. So apparently the people that are pumping this coin, they used to dump religiously, but then they decided to accumulate supply for Bitcoin Cash and pump it. Some people are, for whatever reason, spinning up a debate with Bitcoin Core that the Bitcoin that we have right now isn't going to work, which I thought we had blockchain wars. I thought this was already a thing that we decided we weren't going to do. I don't like this coin. I don't like it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't like this coin. I don't know why it pumped. This just smells like crime. It smells bad. It's iffy. It's not good. So I'm not going to trade crime coins. I'm good. I'm passing on this one. So let's go ahead and slap this one on rug tier. I don't know why this coin hasn't rugged yet. Who's a Bitcoin Cash supporter? It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to do stable coins internationally, you're using Tron. You're using Tron's USDT. If you're doing stable coins in the US, you're going to use stable coins in the US. Have I ever used Bitcoin for a transaction? No, actually, surprisingly, I haven't. I've used Avalanche and I've used a couple other cryptos, but they have, lower transaction fees. So, and they were instantaneous practically. But I'd rather use a stable coin because a stable coin's a stable coin and I don't have to complicate myself. So yeah, I don't like Bitcoin Cash. I'm sorry. Dogecoin. So what does Dogecoin have in its arsenal this year? So Dogecoin has Elon Musk, technically. But also the con is Elon. Now, I don't hate Elon. Listen, I'm not a hater. But I also acknowledge that Elon does change his mind. He does change his minds. So if Elon does decide to go through with their own stablecoin for X payments, or they decide to use another provider, then Dogecoin is going to zero pretty much. And what other thing does Dogecoin have other than Elon Musk? The bet that you're betting on is whether or not Dogecoin will become the official meme of the X platform, because X usage is at all-time highs. They have a bunch of slop, a bunch of trash. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Dogecoin. And also, memes have already kind of had their run, and there are a ton of other memes that are more exciting than Dogecoin right now. So I would say it's kind of weak right now. It's not looking too great right now. And actually, I would kind of have the same explanation for Shiba. I do not like SHIB as a trade at all. I would put it on F tier. I would put Doge on D tier and I'd put SHIB on F tier. The reason why is because, so the original reason that SHIB pumped, if you were around back in the day, is because of Vitalik. So Vitalik ended up getting donated a ton of the supply for Shiba Inu, and he decided to donate that over to some Indian, I don't have the exact thing. I apologize for anybody coming in here, but it was like an Indian COVID relief fund, something like that. And so that was very bullish because he brought a lot of attention over to SHIB, and people kept spamming coins over to him. Now, it also had Doge. But if we don't have Doge, if Doge is weak, then Shiba is just so much worse. Also, there is meme fatigue right now. There are too many meme coins, and SHIB is legacy. SHIB is old, which is very sad. I believe it's too old. It's too old. It's not investable. I mean, it's a very sad day. Doge is betting on Elon Musk magically pumping it, but I don't know. X Payments seems to be going a different place. I don't think it's going to be going over for Dogecoin. Litecoin. So Litecoin, I remember way back in the day, and I'm only talking, listen, I've only been in the crypto space for 5 years. It hasn't been that long. I guess in crypto time, it's been 5 decades. But the reason people got Litecoin was because Walmart decided to do a partnership to use Litecoin. I still remember this. What happened? Like what happened? They were trying to be the digital silver, and that kind of was it for their narrative. There's nothing else to look forward to. Sadly, I think Litecoin's story has unfortunately come to an end. It kind of is what it is. Litecoin's kind of dead right now. It's a sad day for all humans. Cardano. Cardano is, I would say, one of the more controversial topics to talk about. So they've got SafeMoon. Oh boy. No. Listen, Jake Paul doesn't want to talk about that one. Portnoy doesn't want to talk about that one. SafeMoon was a good time in the crypto markets, though. You can't lie. Saitama, SafeMoon, those were good times. I mean, if you lost money on those coins, that's rough, but they had incredible multipliers. It was insane the run SafeMoon had, and the attention even crazier. So Cardano is trying to do, let's write this one here. So ADA. So they want to do Bitcoin DeFi, which I think is interesting. They've been talking about it a lot. Isn't Magic Treasure? Is that what you're talking about? Treasure Magic? Or is there another Magic? I think you're talking about Treasure. Isn't Treasure Magic? Probably. Unless they rebranded. But anyway, they're trying to do Bitcoin DeFi. Oh, because you're talking about gaming coins. Dude. I think I spent like over $500,000. I'm not even joking, on rounds, like angel rounds on gaming tokens. They all rugged, dude. They all rugged. All of them. It's crazy. The only gaming coins that I would even look at. So the Mokies were very well performing, and I still think they're going to do well. They're an NFC collection. I like them a lot. I like Hantao. He was cool, but I'm like not bullish on Ronan at all. And then we have Cambria. So you can farm Cambria. That was good. We have Gunzilla seemingly is pumping their coin. It feels artificial. I don't know what to think about that. The Gunzilla coin is doing okay. And then that's, I don't know, man. It's really rough for gaming. Listen, I'm tapped in. It's depressing. It's like therapy. There's a reason I don't talk about gaming coins anymore. We stopped talking about them like 2 years ago. It's really rough. I want to talk about gaming coins because I love gaming, but it is rough right now. I hope it comes back, and I hope something new comes out to make the industry exciting, but it is not exciting, my friend. You never understood what Cardano was trying to promise. I don't think Cardano really has a primary vision. It's like, what is Ethereum promising? It's promising DeFi, right? So Cardano was trying to be the peer-to-peer, what like scientifically studied version of Ethereum, but they were too slow. I mean, they're slow to adapt. They're very slow to adapt. So I never really enjoyed Cardano as a narrative. They have the US narrative. I would put Charles in the middle. I don't know if he's a negative or a positive at all. He's just kind of in the middle. Sometimes he's a good thing, sometimes he's a bad thing. He helps with the US stuff. The only reason Cardano isn't at zero right now is because of this, what you're looking at here. This is literally it. This is the only reason this coin isn't at zero. You're looking at it right now. And this is no shade to any Cardano holder, but the only reason the coin isn't at zero is because of the US narrative. That is literally it. I do not see why people would use Cardano for quite literally anything. There's just nothing on Cardano right now. Hopefully they get that Bitcoin DeFi thing going. But I would just much rather buy something like XRP over something like Cardano. I like it. Just the risk to reward on Cardano makes no sense. It's very weak right now. Very weak. They need to find their footing. They need to find their story, because their story used to be, I was one of the big guys over at Ethereum, and so you should buy my coin because we are going to become similar to the next Ethereum. We're going to be the better Ethereum because we're peer-to-peer research, or whatever nerdy thing he would say. And listen, I'm a fellow nerd, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Cardano holders are cucks. Yeah, he also says he likes Cardano as a trade, so he's interesting. What's the deal with Midnight? Midnight's dogging on the privacy narrative. The privacy narrative is enormous, and I've been talking about this with Zcash. I actually started this portfolio. The first trade we did on this thing. Can I do position history? I think it works. Order history? I don't know what it is. But yeah, our first trade was Zcash. And so Zcash was doing the privacy narrative, huge on privacy. Midnight's doing the same thing. They're trying to be privacy first. And so if this coin fails, I am very bearish on Cardano, because this is supposed to be the wealth effect that Cardano needs to pump. If they do not get that, I don't know what to think about Cardano moving forward. So they're really betting big on Midnight working out, one of their partner chains. If it doesn't, then I don't know what to think. Midnight's probably going to go to another chain, and this is going to be really bad for Cardano holders. It's not going to be a good thing at all. All right. So coin has been doing extremely well. XMR. So XMR has the same situation as XRP. It's a winner. It's a winner, chicken dinner. So XMR has Zcash, and they also have privacy. They have a very strong narrative, because what the US government is currently trying to push with the Clarity Act is the murder, quite frank, of privacy. They're trying to murder privacy. And fair enough, the US government, of course, wants more oversight of the crypto markets. And, a lot of it's already transparent, but some of it isn't. XMR is the antithesis of everything that the US is currently trying to do. And so it has a really strong narrative, very strong narrative. Now, the problem is it has already pumped. And so if you buy XMR at this point, your risk to reward is not that attractive. Unfortunately, it's already at $13 billion, and it's already had a lot of volatility. I am not that. I don't think the risk reward is amazing. There's no world I put this on S tier because it's already pumped so much. If you've been holding it since $400, it's different, right? I've had a position on Zcash since like, $400, and we've kind of been scalping in and out of it. But overall, I'm only up like what, 10% on my initial position over the past couple months. It's like, it's an okay trade. The risk reward is just not there for me. I have no position on XMR. I'm very much sidelined. I think it's a strong narrative. There's just no world in which I think, XMR is gonna outperform XRP. Like I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Tron. Okay. So Tron is the same as BNB. However, I am more bullish. Oh my God, look at this chart. Wow, look at this. Oof. Look at this chart. Okay. Wow, I'm abundantly sidelined to whatever's going on there. So Tron has the art of these stables. They have been dominating stablecoins internationally. They are doing an excellent job. They also raised a lot of money, like a ridiculous, a lot of money. They have an unlimited money printer. Cons. We will present this without comment. That's all we're going to present. And so we will put Tron at so if we put, where's BNB? BNB's here. I'll put it right next to BNB. Yeah, I'll put it a little bit under BNB. I'd be more confident on BNB surviving over Tron. But yeah, it's just too much risk. Way too much risk. Hyperliquid. This is Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid is doing the decentralized futures game really well. Really well. No one has been able to beat Hyperliquid. Are they going to be the next big thing? Well, they've already kind of proved they are. So they're going to continue to buy back their coin. And as long as there's demand, Hyperliquid's going to pump. So this is a strong one. It has revenue. It has the potential to be overtaken in the future because it's so new. But right now, it's kind of proven to be a very strong coin. Anything that makes revenue and buys back their own coin and actually has demand is got to be a strong coin. It's got to be a strong coin. Chainlink. So Chainlink is weird because I really like what Chainlink as a technology does. But I'm not a fan of everything else about Chainlink. Which this might be a controversial opinion because I know some of you guys, of course, are going to be big fans of Chainlink. So Chainlink, the tech is great. Most major companies use it in crypto for their Oracle pricing. However, the price, what is going on there? Why buy? There's not a lot of revenue. They're burning a lot of coins. So while I love the idea behind Chainlink and I love what they're doing for the space, and I'm sure they're definitely not rugged, I also think it's kind of mid. I think this is kind of a mid narrative. People are not very excited about buying Chainlink. I think the tech is great. And listen, the Link Marines are going to cook me for this one. But just don't find a reason to be very excited about buying Chainlink right now. Polkadot. How is this still on top 20? How is this still a top 20 coin? Why are people buying Polkadot? Who buys Polkadot in the big 26? This isn't even top 20 anymore. It's number 29. This thing's been falling like a brick. Yeah, no, this coin's dead. It's been dead for a while. Let's put that down there. Put that over in F tier. Canton Network looks good, but also feels like a VC to retail pump play. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does. It's got all the buzzwords, too. Like, oh, we're doing trillions of dollars worth of settlement. And we're doing RWA. It's fresh VC mail, isn't it? It feels that way. I know what you mean. It really feels that way. Also, have you taken a look at the volume on this coin? Does the volume make any sense? It's $5 billion. $20 million worth of volume. Its biggest market is Bybit. And the second biggest market is Gate.io, which we all know Gate.io. Yeah, but they had a governance change because the VCs are trying to get their money back. That's why they're having the governance change. And so, I mean, like, really, number 29 in the world, something that doesn't even know what it's doing. It has no idea what it's doing. It just spends money doing nothing practically, just paying off their VC friends. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't want to be exit liquidity. I'm kind of tired of being exit liquidity. If I'm going to be exit liquidity, let me at least have a reason to be exit liquidity. But anyway, so Canton Network, I haven't bought this one. I'm going to be honest. I have been sidelined on this one. I've saw it at like 11 cents. I saw it kind of late. I'm very late to this coin. It feels too buzzwordy, and it doesn't have volume at all. It has no volume. Why does it have no volume? Who is trading this? Who is buying this coin? Is it a market maker? Like, why? What is this V-shaped recovery? It doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense to me. It worries me. AVAX is the next one on this list. So Avalanche had the potential to be the top performing blockchain of 2026. Unfortunately, Brian, it did the exact thing that we did. It focused on gaming. And as it turned out, I wasted a lot of money buying gaming coins. A lot of time. So AVAX is, unfortunately, lost in the sauce. Avalanche is in the same place as Polygon. It's one of those older coins that they don't know what they're doing. What do you do here? I love some of the people on the Avalanche team. Don't get me wrong, I love them, and I do like what they've been doing recently with their team restructuring. They fired a bunch of the bad people that I didn't like. And, you know, I've onboarded influencers into AVAX. We've worked together. We did so much awesome stuff. I made 6 figures on their meme coin season. You know, a lot of reasons to love what AVAX is doing. But why would I buy AVAX when they're trying to do the institutional narrative that, in my opinion, other coins are doing much better, which is really sad, because they had poured so many resources into gaming that, because gaming didn't end up working out the way that we thought it was going to work out, they are now trying to play catch up. So I do not think the coin's dead. I don't think AVAX is dead. As you know, I know there's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, VC mill, it's like Polkadot, right? I don't know. I think it's like a baby Solana that has kind of messed up on a couple of the choices that it's made. No fault to its own. Gaming just didn't work out. And so it would have been S tier if gaming worked out, but unfortunately, you know, it didn't work out. And so it's got to go down there. I really hope the best for people that are holding AVAX right now. I offloaded pretty much all of my AVAX. Jason from Gala, I actually haven't talked with him in a long time. Last I know, he was trying to start, was it Datagram? Man, I don't know. What we did end up uncovering is I don't know if it's because we're easily manipulated, Brian, but I don't think he's at fault for what happened at Gala. It feels like it's more the higher ups. You know, when you work for a company, you've got to just be bullish on what they're pushing, even though you think things aren't going the best, but you want to keep your job. I feel like that's kind of the situation he was in. Of course, he made a ton of money off Gala because of the position that he was in. But yeah, I don't know. When you're working in a position there, like you've got to be bullish. If you're not bullish, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you be there? And the upside, when he entered Gala, that thing was worth nothing. So while I would also like to be very upset with him, I understand. I understand why he did what he did, and I don't blame him for both of the founders suing each other and destroying the company. It's kind of like not his fault that they went for each other's necks because they got greedy. Uniswap is the next one. So Uniswap started a new chain called Unichain. They have the winner's effect, whereas they get the most liquidity on Ethereum. So as long as Ethereum is the top dog, then Uniswap is going to benefit from it because a ton of coins launched on Uniswap. And because of that, all of the liquidity is concentrated on Uniswap for the most part for Ethereum coins. So as long as that continues to be the case, great. However, Uniswap also has been in the crosshairs of legislators for I don't even know how long. And it's been complicated for Uniswap. It's been a tough game for Uniswap. I would love to say that they're just going to pump just like Hyperliquid, but they're not. They don't operate their coins the same way. They don't just buy up their coin based on fees. It's a different model. It's a governance model. So it's definitely not as bullish as Hyperliquid. It's also not necessarily bearish. If we're putting Ethereum on B tier, then we're going to be putting Uniswap on C tier. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if Ethereum does really well, then Uniswap's going to do really well. But I also would rather just buy Ethereum than Uniswap. Because the facts are that as a governance coin, no real reason to be too excited about it. Plus, Unichain, if we look at DeFi Llama, let's check it out ourselves right here. In Denver. All right, see you guys. See ya. Have a good dinner, my friend. Lots of protein. Got to get them gains, right? All right. So Unichain, let's go. I haven't checked this out in a while. But last I checked, they had a lot of TVL come in. Yeah, this is what happened. They had a lot of TVL come in, and then it just died. Like it had a stroke. It died. Nothing happened there. People got so hyped for this. They got all the big boosts in all the major crypto events, and then nothing happened. So I would just rather not with Uniswap, and I would much rather buy Hyperliquid. I mean, this isn't even close. I'd much rather buy Hyperliquid than gamble on Uniswap. That's my opinion. Sui. So Sui had a network outage today. I don't know if anybody knew this because I highly doubt anybody trades on Uniswap. Wow, I said Uniswap. It's been too long. On Sui, I highly doubt anybody trades on Sui. Like, who trades on Sui? Who uses Sui for anything other than buying Sui meme coins? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Sui pumped really hard last year. It also has the Eric Trump effect. I don't think this is a dead coin, but it does feel weak because it's kind of like Cardano in the sense that nobody really uses it, and it only gets attention when influencers talk about it. It feels like it. Like if the president's son talks about this coin, then all of a sudden it gets attention. Otherwise, there's kind of nothing there. So I'm just not feeling Sui this year. XLM. So XLM is going to pump. It's going to pump because of XRP. I would rather own XRP. I think that XLM, has a place in this world, but I would much rather own XRP. And I would much rather own Hbar. So I am going to be putting XLM on the probably B tier. I'll put it on B tier. Hbar. Oh, you want me to do Arrow? Aerodome. How is it doing? Because last I saw, Base was not cooking. We had a situation in which a major account had a breakout post. And what ended up happening is that their Zora coin did nothing. So their Zora coin, that's like a creator coin. That's what you call them. It did absolutely nothing. But here's the big but. The coin on Pump Fund, so the coin on Solana that some random person made went to $20 million. And so what that shows you is that there's not a lot of demand on Base right now. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of demand. Now, we are going to have the TGE. We're presuming here that we're going to have the TGE of the Base token at some point in 2026, which is going to be very good for Aerodrome. It's actually going to be very bullish for Aerodrome. And Aerodrome is the Uniswap of Base. That's what they are. So I'm actually not bearish on this. I'm pretty I would say it's solid. It's a solid play. I don't think it's a bad play at all. It's bounced off lows pretty hard. This is what, 37 cents, 38 cents. Now it's at 60 cents. It's looking pretty good. If the Base token doesn't do well, which I highly doubt it's not, it doesn't make sense for it not to do well. As it stands, BNB is doing really well. Crow's doing well, I guess. So Base should theoretically do well. I think it's solid. Would I put it over Solana? Actually, I will. I will put it over Solana. Actually, I would reframe this like this. And then I would put, XRP, XMR Hype, BNB, TRX, Link, Uni. I think that's accurate. I'd put ADA over here. And then I would put AVAX. And I would leave Sui behind Dogecoin. I kind of like this. I like this here. Yeah, this is good. Dogecoin. All right, this is how I'd format it. Okay, great. We fixed all the formatting for everything. Yeah, I actually like this coin. I don't think the coin's bad at all. I know somebody was talking about, where is it? So Magic, I'm not going to even bother doing. World Liberty Finance is an interesting one. World Liberty Finance was supposed to go like crazy. but it just kind of stuck around. I think this coin's going to do well, though. I think World Liberty Finance is going to do really, 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 really well. The midterms are going to come around, and Trump's going to pump the living hell out of this coin. I mean, I don't see a world in which crypto legislation is pro crypto if all of what Trump's doing does poorly. And so they have a lot of, of their eggs onto World Liberty Finance. Exactly. Like World Liberty Finance Famous is saying, DeFi's coming. I actually like World Liberty Finance as a coin, and I've made videos on this coin. I've made videos on this coin saying that I'm bullish on this coin. So I'm happy to say that I'm bullish on the coin. I think it's solid. I would actually put it on the top of the B tier. I put this on the top of the B tier. I would still, I know you're not going to like this, but I would still rather buy Hyperliquid than World Liberty Finance. But still, I think it's definitely a strong pick. I don't think it's a bad pick at all. It's just, it's kind of contingent on the current administration pushing really hard into crypto and DeFi actually gaining adoption because of said administration pushing crypto really hard. But I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. But, it's like, it's all like, I think it should, but we don't know. So my Hyperliquid has revenue. Hbar is the next one. So Hbar is kind of in the same basket of like, we don't really know if this is going to get mass adoption. We know it's kind of going to get the US narrative. We know the enterprises are already using it because they already have a big council, and this council is made up of trillion-dollar companies. And so it's going to pump really hard alongside XRP, XLM, because it's in an adjacent narrative. And so I would put it pretty up here. I would probably put it above Ethereum, but under World Liberty Finance. That's where I would put Hbar right now in its current state. They had a restructuring of their DeFi council, and this DeFi council has done an exceptional job in fostering liquidity. They've gotten hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stable coins. It's kind of come and gone, but overall, there's been a lot of liquidity coming into Hbar. I think the coin's going to perform really well. I think it's going to do very, very, very well. I think all these coins up here, if you're above B, then you're doing really, really, really well. If you're on B, you're probably going to do pretty damn well. If you're on C, it's kind of like, I'm pretty whatever about you. But B is like, okay, we're starting to get good here. Gal is definitely F tier. I'm throwing this below Polkadot. Low key, right? Haven't seen you in ages. This means the bull market is back. I've been building my XRP bag since 2016. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for sticking around and making some money. A ZBCN. I've seen this on a couple radars. This is more of a recent pump thing. I actually don't own any. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't looked at this coin enough to even give you an opinion on this. So this is something that I'm actually going to add this on my bookmarks right now. Okay, I just added them on my bookmarks. I actually have no idea. I have no opinion on this. So thanks for putting this on my radar. But yeah, you're right. Hey, listen, if you're getting crypto on your algorithm, not only do you have to like the video to shill your bags, but it's looking like it's a good time. We're starting to make money again. It's a good time. I mean, I have a trade up right now. It's up 60%. That's not bad. Listen, I know only $2,000. You see these influencers making like $600,000 on a single crypto trade, but hey, we're working our way up the ladder. We've had a pretty tough bear market, and we don't want to throw our entire portfolio onto a trade. So yeah, pretty good time right now in the crypto market. And the last one, Luna Classic. So I made a video talking about the future of Terra Luna Classic. I used to have one of the biggest validators there, and it would have been the biggest validator if I had stayed in the chain, but I gave the chain an ultimatum. If they didn't embrace being a meme coin, then I would not stay as a validator, because in my opinion, the only reason that Terra Luna Classic went from $600 million to $8 billion was because of the burn narrative. The burn narrative, it gave the coin a lot of attention, and so that made the coin pump. Really, it made it pump. Cosmos is dead right now. People tried to build something on Lunk, but unfortunately, there's no funding on Lunk because it rugged tens of billions of dollars worth of liquidity. So it is dead. It's just dead. It's all dead. It's going to zero. It's actually payroll unfed now. It's using it. That's awesome. Hell yeah, pump it. That's all you should see. There's partnership up there with XRP. Dude, I'm hoping all our coins finally pump this year. I was so frustrated with the gaming markets. They did not do anything I thought they were going to do. Oh, check this out. So I coded this website, right? Yeah, I feel like it looks so good. I'm so proud of how I coded this website. If I download it, it comes out as an actual image I can share to X. Check this out. Look at this. Boom. I have the image there and everything. It's so cool. Spend 10 minutes? I will spend the 10 minutes. Listen, I have nothing better to do. Of course I'm going to spend the 10 minutes. But I'm not going to do it right now, obviously. But dude, there's so many new coins that I need to look at that I haven't taken the time to look at. Like World Liberty Finance is one of them. I took the time to look at it like 2 months ago. Boom. Canton Network. Boom. Randomly came out of nowhere. Tens of billions of dollars of valuation. It's crazy. These coins are coming out of nowhere. So here are my rankings for the top coins in crypto right now. It has the tiers for everything that I just put. And then I have the rank your coins that blah, 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 blah. Just did this live on stream. Very cool. I feel like Hbar is stuck right now. Well, it's stuck, but the market makers defended it. The market makers defended it. It should have gone under 10 cents. It should have, but it didn't. And so someone is defending the price for Hbar. And that's a very bullish thing. Very, very bullish thing. All right, we pumped it. We just put it out there, my friends. The only reason I use X at this point, because I think X is just a bunch of slop, is, of course I have my crypto list, but also just pump out all these tier lists. I like this. I like this though. We spent, an hour going over a bunch of coins, explaining our thesis behind these coins. It was a good time, I would say. So tomorrow, I believe the banking committee is going to meet. I don't know if they're going to do it at 10 a.m., but the banking committee is going to meet to vote on the Clarity Act. But I already know that they've already pushed amendments on the Senate, the U.S. Committee. I don't even know what the name is. The U.S. Committee for Agriculture, the Senate of Agriculture. It pushed a bunch of amendments on the Clarity Act. So it's kind of complicating getting this thing passed. It doesn't even matter. Should I even live stream tomorrow? Probably not. I feel like it's kind of a waste of time for people. Do you think 2026 is the year? Well, I thought 2025 was the year. Listen, I'm not some magician that is going to lie to you and say that I didn't think that the super cycle wasn't going to happen. I'm very honest with my subscribers and the people that watch my videos. I thought 2025 was our year. I'm honest, okay? It didn't happen. So we have to move our timelines. Now, 2026 is the year where institutions are going to take over. So anything that has to do with institutions, it's going to be what's going to pump. Technically speaking, we are in a bear market because retail never came back. I want to show you something. You're on YouTube right now, right? So a lot of you are beginning to see YouTube videos in crypto for the first time in a long time, right? And so the reason behind it is because, crypto markets are pumping, so you guys are kind of interested right now. Where is this? How many tweets a day do I make? What is wrong with this guy? How do I put this up here? I can't even find what I'm trying to reference here. I'm trying to reference. Oh, here it is. Okay. Crypto YouTube viewership plunges to 5-year lows after a 3-month decline, signaling bear market conditions and warning retail interest. This was 2 days ago. Look at this right here. This is insane. So if you didn't know, retail peaked, and crypto YouTube is an excellent place to gauge where retail is and just how irrelevant we are in crypto in 2026. So if you ever see a YouTuber like shilling a coin for retail to buy, like if you ever see me saying, guys, now is a good time to get into Hbar or something, we don't make a dent in the chart because of this. This is the chart telling us the amount of attention that crypto has had from a retail perspective. Retail peaked back in early 2021. After that, it never really got higher than that. We had here the peak of the bull cycle last time. We had this peak over here. And then even when we hit new all-time highs on Bitcoin, it just never really came back. Never came back. The views never peaked the same way that they peaked before. I have found it to be fine because I don't really care about the revenue that I make on YouTube personally. I think this is a hobby. It's fun. Listen, my crypto is my full-time job. I'm going to do it anyway, so I might as well force myself to research and make these videos. And it's made me gain a massive network. I've done millions of dollars worth of spend in campaigns for some of the biggest blockchains in the world, only due to this channel, which I think is super cool, right? So I know my business model, and I know that I have not been getting the same viewers that I was getting back in 2022, 2023. And so retail really does not matter. 2026 would be considered a bear market for retail, but it is a bull market for institutions because the bull market started for institutions back in, I believe it was it 2022? This is why I use Gemini, guys. I believe it's like crypto moves too fast. Date when first Bitcoin ETF passed. Let's see. I think it was 2022. 2024. Wow. I'm getting old. It feels like time is passing so fast, but at the same time, it's not. 2020, it wasn't that long ago. January 10th, 20. I mean, it makes sense. The new administration. I don't know why I'm thinking 2022, but interesting. Very, very interesting. January 10th, 2024. So January 10th would have been right here. Yeah. See, it doesn't matter. We didn't have any peaks at all. So retail was never a factor. So yeah, we are in a bear market for retail, but we're in a bull market for institutions. This is the year for institutions. Any coin that has to do with institutions is going to pump. Any coin that has to do with retail is going to dump. That's just how it's going to work. So this year is the year where we screw the meme coins. We don't like the meme coins because clearly the views aren't there. But this is the year that we're very bullish on institutional coins because institutions are still pouring billions of dollars into the crypto markets. And if you don't believe me, then I have a website for you. Here we go. It's CoinGlass. So CoinGlass is great. I love using CoinGlass because it gives you, if I can find it, the inflows and outflows for ETFs. So for example, I found this to be interesting. XRP ETFs have so much demand. It's crazy how much demand these XRP ETFs have. Like, it's actually crazy. So many people are buying these ETFs. And then I found that, like, if you look at the amount of buy pressure on XRP ETFs versus like Solana ETFs, look at this. So we had 5 mil, 10 mil. This was a net nothing day. 13 mil, 2 mil, 9 mil. And we look at it like XRP or something, it's like the numbers are just higher. 46 mil, 15 mil, 12 mil, 12 mil, 4 mil, 8 mil. Just on average, they're just higher. And then I looked at Ethereum and I was like, very interesting. The numbers are actually not that impressive. And Bitcoin too. Bitcoin's not that impressive. But then you look at this and you're like, wow, okay, that's $700 million. So Bitcoin clearly has attention. XRP clearly has attention from an institutional side. And so they're going to pump anything that has to do with meme coins like Solana. They're just not going to get as much demand. It's just kind of how it's going to work in 2026. Are we bullish on the money printer coming on? Are we bullish on Jerome Powell leaving office? Are we bullish on lower interest rates? So I have a kind of a reality check answer for this one. If you have a lot of money in equity markets, yes. The world is a scam. I hate to be the guy and be a doomer, but I'm also very optimistic in the sense that if you understand that it's a scam, you could play the game. And the game is that if you don't have money invested into equity markets, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. I don't care what it is, what coin or what stock or whatever it is. If you do not have money in equity markets, you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. Something that I learned early on. So yes, we are very bullish on this. This is going to be a great thing for anybody in equity markets, but it's not going to be a good thing for anybody anywhere else. If you're someone that doesn't save money, you're screwed. You really are screwed. And some people are just not in the position to save money. So it gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. So yeah, no, I'm very bullish on that. Of course, it's hard to be bearish on it. How could you be bearish on people borrowing more money and having lower interest rates on them, on the loans that they take? It's impossible to be bearish on that. At the same time, am I bullish on grocery prices going up? Yeah, I'm also bullish on that. So as long as you're making money in the crypto markets or in other markets or whatever markets you want to trade, then yeah, go for it. What are my thoughts on Murad saying SPX is the next Bitcoin? So they have a cult. This cult kind of pisses me off. I just pisses me off because I believe that SPX is doing the Brett playbook. So Brett is a coin that is only worth as much as it's worth because bigger players took it over. But these bigger players just milked it. And just like those bigger players milked Brett, I believe those bigger players are going to milk SPX. SPX at this point is on autopilot. So I don't like SPX as a coin. I don't like it. And plus, like I was saying, if we're going to be bearish on meme coins, how could we be bullish on SPX? It doesn't make any sense. So good for Murad because he has millions of dollars and he is officially retired and he doesn't really care where this coin goes. But you know, kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. I'd much rather be holding something else. I'm hoping people, they grow a brain and they get out of these meme coins, because meme coins might be attractive short term, but long term, it always catches up to you. Always catches up to you. That's going to be the live stream, my friends. Thank you so much for taking your time to check out the live. Easy way to go ahead and support me. Smash that like button. I will see you guys on the next one. And I'm going to end the stream. Goodbye.